Okay, here we are. We're back at it with Business 101-1. This is the beginning of this discussion about what it takes to have a viable business. Business 101-1, the schedule. And as before, we got some PowerPoint here that I want to show you some slides, but we're also going to have some video. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, again, watching a fuzzy guy online rant and rave about this stuff. It only matters what you do about this stuff. So we're going to have some homework and let's get started. Every new endeavor comes with questions about what one should be doing with their time. What's the best use of my time? Until you've been doing it for years, it's really hard to know what you should be doing every day. And I'm going to take a lot of the hit and miss out of this and tell you. By then, you run the risk of having developed a bunch of bad habits. I distinctly remember being at the first day of spring training for a Big Ten baseball team and listening to the head coach talk to the team. This is the first day of getting his team together. And his topic was the importance of setting a pace and finding their rhythm. You know, in sports, when you step across those lines, you don't want your team dilly-dallying and lollygagging. You want to get them going. I've coached hundreds of athletes and agents over the years, and there's nothing more important than pace and rhythm. So you know when you're at work, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're setting that pace. If lollygagging and dilly-dallying is done away with, your career as a top agent is on its way. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. The competition isn't that great. You really, the first 40% are going to fail in the first year, right? 400,000 out of a million will be gone in a year. And then in 5 years, we'll be down to 200,000 out of that million. And the 5 years after that, there'll be 4% left standing. 96% of the competition will fail. You set a pace and a rhythm and cut out the lollygagging and the dilly-dallying, and your career as a top agent is on its way. As long as you're learning the right things and don't have to unlearn things to make progress. Learning all things can and should be broken into progressions. When I coached athletes, it was depending, you know, how old they are, are they a beginner? What are the progressions? Because, you know, how you hold a tennis racket or a violin for that matter are essential starting points if you're ever going to achieve success. If you pick it up the wrong way, you'll never learn to swing it. If you're holding it the wrong way, you'll never learn to play that violin, at least not on a greatness kind of level, right? And this is 30 Days to Greatness, learning the basics, the fundamentals, so that when you do them over and over, you will, with excellence, you will achieve greatness. Learning anything is a first thing first endeavor. And notice we decided the first thing in real estate, the first thing we're really talking to you about is how to use your time wisely. There are really only so many things you have to learn to get started in a successful career. The rest you'll learn as you apply the first things. I'll say it again. The basics applied will set you up for success, because if you learn the basics and apply them, you'll be able to learn as you go. That's that idea of progressions. But if you don't learn the basics and apply them, you'll never get to the next level. And this is next level training. For the sake of brevity, I'll just list the things you'll learn here, but keep in mind they're the things that will set you up for greatness as you progress. They include Business 101 topics, the schedule, the numbers, the tools, and the budget. They will also include Lead Gen 101, Buyers 101, and Sellers 101. So mostly people just start you out with the lead gen, and here's what you need to know about buyers and sellers. I want to start with the business training just to get some basics, because if you add that fourth component, You're going to have to learn all of them. But if you add that fourth component, you'll be setting yourself up for achieving a viable, like worthy business, worthy of your time in your life, because it'll fund your life and free your time. Learning these basics will take you a long way. That's because greatness comes from doing the basics over and over with excellence. The first basic principle for you to learn and practice is time blocking. Now, I know you've heard this, how important time blocking is. You'll need to work into every day. You'll need to work into every day you work the following actions. Ready? Working on, not just in your business, right? You need to spend a little bit of time every day working on. Remember that 5-hour rule? Lead gen, role play riffs, or scripts, some people call them. The administration, the admin of keeping up with your business, and of course, appointments with people, because without the appointments with people, there's no business to keep up with. Working on refers to working on your business, not just working in your business. And that's, again, from Warren Buffett's 5-hour rule. He said, spend 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, working on the things that will transform your future, not just the things you need to do today. And what happens is we fill up our life with all the, I got to do this, I got to do that. Pretty soon we're running around like a chicken with our head cut off, and we're not getting to the things that will transform our future. We're setting that pace and finding that rhythm in this boot camp, the rhythm where you're working on as well as in. Lead gen is exactly what it sounds like. Work every day to prospect for new leads. Every day, right? You're working into every day that you work these things. Role play riffs comes from the truth that what you say and how you say it is the most important tool in your toolbox. I'll slow down and say it again. What you say and how you say it is the most important tool in your toolbox. The art of being a realtor is what's coming out of your mouth. Okay? And so it matters, that role play. Get yourself ready. Rehearse. You know the old story about the violinist who tried to catch a cab to Carnegie Hall, and he asked the cab driver, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? And his answer was practice. Well, same thing here, right? Admin time is because you'll have lots of details to keep track of. And so you need some time every day so you don't get to the end of the week or the end of 2 weeks and suddenly, all these details are overwhelming. Well, that's why you put in your time blocking some time every day to keep track of those details so they never get overwhelming. Appointments, because you can't make any money hanging around the office with me. I'm not going to buy a house from you. No offense. I'm not right? Hanging around here with a bunch of realtors drinking coffee is not going to get you any business. You got to get out and meet with the people, have appointments with people. So the key to making sure you're doing all of the activities that need doing is time blocking. Here, take a second and look at this video I put together on the topic of time blocking. Let me roll that for you. Hey, so we're talking about it's a business, right? Business 101, session 1, the schedule. And I got a bucket of rocks. Yep, a bucket of rocks. Kind of smaller rocks, kind of pebbles, you might say. And the bucket is going to represent your life, your schedule. What can you fit in your bucket? What can you fit in your life? What can you fit in your schedule? Well, I think one of the things that's true for most of us is we're not as intentional as we need to be about our bucket. Our bucket gets filled up with stuff pretty easily. At least I know mine can. I'm pretty sure you can relate that life can get busy with stuff. And it isn't always the important stuff. It's not always the big stuff. It's often the little stuff that fills up our life. I got another bucket over here. I got a bucket of big rocks. These represent the things that are truly important in life, like your friends and your family. These are big rocks. These are the big deals. Like your social connectedness in the world. That makes life good. That's an important rock. And if I've got a bucket full of little rocks already and I try to fit it in, well, I could probably get this one in if I just keep cramming it in, you know. Okay, I got it in there. But that's not the only important thing in life, really. There's other things. There's things like my personal health and well-being, my fit. You know, I got to spend time on me too, not just others. So, well, okay, let's get this. It's important. It needs to be in my life. It needs to be in my schedule. So I'm going to get it in there. Wish me luck. I can do it. Okay, yeah. I get a little red, I can see it. But I got it in there. It's in there. But that's not the only thing that's important. I've got some friends and family time. I've got some me time, some personal fitness, working on me. But you know, I got a future I got to think about. I got to come up with an idea about how one day I'm going to be able to retire. I need to be working on my wealth. And I mean it, just the money side of life, right? I need to be getting my money to where my money's working for me instead of me working for my money. That's a big rock. It needs to fit. Here we go. Okay, I did it, but there is nowhere in this bucket that I've been working on my career, my business, that which funds all the rest of my life. A business that actually generates the freedom so I can have time with my friends and family, the social connectedness I long for. A business that funds my freedom so that I can have the me time I want to work on me, whether it's fitness or personal development of some other kind. And certainly the business that funds the freedom that allows me to stop working and retire and have built up wealth to where my money works for me instead of me working for my money. That's a big rock. In fact, it's really arguably the biggest rock of all. And I'm looking at this bucket thinking, how am I going to cram this all in? I'm not. I'm going to try to, I don't know if you can tell from the camera angle, but it doesn't fit. So what I've got here is a life that really doesn't work very well. The good news is I have another bucket. Let's try this another way. Let's try this a sensible way. Let's try this the way that it works. Let's do the first things first. Let's take the big rocks, the important things, and put them in our life, put them in our schedule, and work around them. There's a thought. Let's see if we can really cram all this into our life or not. So, the business that funds it all, let's work on that first. The relationships that are so valuable to me, let's get those in there. How about the me time, the personal development, the fitness, the well-being? Get that in there. And certainly, don't forget developing the wealth that's going to make it all worthwhile so you can retire some. Let's get it all in there first. But you say, but wait a second, Paul. That bucket doesn't. Well, look, all the other stuff that fills up our life, let's see if there's room for some more stuff. I'll just start pouring. I don't know if it'll all fit. Wait, I got an idea. What if I just shake it down a little bit? What if I just work around those important things? It might fit. If you start with the first things first, there's room for everything. Big rocks. Put them in your schedule first. Put the first things first in your days and your weeks and your months. And fit the rest around it. And you really can get there from here. Well, there you go. It's about time blocking, right? And then having the integrity when it's time to follow through on the plan, you can set aside a couple hours for this and a couple hours for that. But if you don't follow through, if you don't have integrity, then it doesn't really matter. So let me see if I can load up another look at something here. The question of what it is we want to be working on again. Hold on, this is not the beginning. So there you have it, the big rocks first. As far as your career is concerned, those big rocks are working on your business, lead gen, role play riffs, admin, and appointments. And wherever you found this link, probably in your email or a login that you were sent to a place, there are some PDFs for you to download, some files for you to download, and this is your homework, to fill them out and return them to me via email. All right? So that which gets tracked gets better. Therefore, we have a scorecard tracker for each of these activities, right? And go ahead and download the PDF packet that's part of this lesson now while I finish up talking to you about it. You'll find a weekly timesheet with a tracking section, a monthly goals and trackers sheet, and what's called a 135 goals worksheet. And we'll start with the 135 goals worksheet because I want you to be thinking about what it is you're putting in, what you're working on when you time block, okay? So when you set aside a couple hours, I want you to have a goal for those couple of hours. So it works like this. Pick one goal and then have 3 priorities to achieve that goal. One goal, 3 priorities to achieve that goal. And then for each of the priorities, 5 steps to accomplish each priority. So if there's 3 priorities, each with 5 steps, there are 15 steps that you're going to be working on to create, to achieve one goal, okay? You'll do this each month for business and personal goals. So we'll do it now for this month, and then again next, and again next. And you may find that you got some repeat goals. You don't necessarily get them all accomplished in the first 30 days. But if they're important, they'll carry over to the next month. But if you've done this correctly, you will have made progress. And that's the key. So here's how it works. Go check out this video, and then we'll finish up real quick. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it. Hang on. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. New technology is a wonderful thing. Let's see if this works. Okay, I want to talk to you about the 1-3-5. 1-3-5 method to achieving your goals here. 1 stands for one goal. Let's take a personal goal. The age-old personal goal of lose weight. I'm talking to myself, nothing personal. Okay, now you've got one goal, but you need 3 priorities to achieve that goal. And it's basic stuff here, right? You gotta exercise. You've gotta eat healthy, eat well. And I found that it's real key is to track my activities. That's real key for me. All right. Now, each of these priorities, you're going to get 5 steps to meet these priorities, okay? To get these priorities done. So here we're just going to take one. We're going to take the exercise. Ready? So 5 priorities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to join a gym. That's a step, huh? Practical. Whoops. Join a gym. We're going to block the time. That's a practical step. We're going to get a plan for the time in the gym, because you got to get out there and do certain activities, right? You've got to have integrity when the alarm clock goes off, right? And then how about a partner in this? How about we get like a workout partner? Well, there you go. This is how this works. And then, of course, we need 5 more steps for the other 2 priorities as well. So each goal has 15 things supporting that goal. So it takes a little work. But let's go to the business side. Let's say we want to contact all of our sphere of influence, everyone we know. Contact our sphere of influence. Every last person. Well, how about 3 ways we're going to do that? How about calls? How about notes? How about an email campaign? So what am I going to do? Pick 5 things that are going to get me to make my calls. Well, they wouldn't be so dissimilar to these, would they? The point is, if you're going to be serious about achieving goals, you need a methodology to get after it. And this is what we're doing. 1, 3, 5. Ready? Go. Okay, so there it is. The PDFs that you're going to download are a sample day, sample week, in fact, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I want you to do some homework now and time block those times where you're going to be working on the business and lead gen, practicing your rock and roll riffs, your scripts, where you're going to be making calls, where you're going to be doing the ad time, the admin time, and block where you're going to put the appointment. See, for instance, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the first hour of your day and work on your business. And then I want you to take the next 2 hours and do the lead gen, the calls, the notes, the contacts, and actually connect with people, which means your morning is taken up already. Set your appointments in the afternoons and evenings. Now, somebody might call you and say, hey, can you grab a breakfast? Well, I can if it's early enough so that I can get to work on my time-blocked activities after breakfast. Otherwise, what are you doing after work today? Or, can we grab a coffee in the afternoon? Or can we get together for happy hour? Or something like that. See, time blocking means guarding. But on that same sheet, you'll be tracking a few things. You'll be tracking, how many contacts did I make today? You'll be tracking how many appointments did I set today? You'll be tracking how many appointments did I go on today? You'll be tracking how many contracts did I actually sign with people today? And then how many people did I add to my data bank? No, I didn't misspeak. I don't call it a database. It's your data bank. How many people did I add to my data bank? How many new people did I put into my sphere of influence? Well, that's one of the sheets. Another sheet there is that 135 goal sheet. And go ahead and work on that. Come up with a personal goal and a business goal. Take the contacting my SOI, my sphere of influence, as your goal. And we'll come up with a strategy for do that. But I want you to do that today. Don't let it get away. Do it now. Fill out those sheets, time block a sample day, come up with some 135 goals, and spend the time. Don't let it get away. Then email me a completed copy of what you did. That's your homework check. All right, at the end of the week, we'll get together and we'll see where everybody is, but that'll be workshop time for the end of the week. Okay, that's enough. Business 101, the schedule.